Peace talks have stalled, and Russia has ramped up missile strikes in Kyiv. Here's the latest from Stephanie Bennett.
Emotional reunions in Ukraine as hundreds of soldiers return home after another major prisoner swap with Russia.
I'm very happy to be back. I didn't even know I would return.
The massive prisoner exchange started Friday and is expected to last all weekend, or until each side releases 1,000 prisoners each. That's the number Russia and Ukraine agreed to earlier this month during direct peace talks that have since stalled. Hours before the exchange, air raid alarms rang out across Kyiv. A large-scale Russian drone and missile attack forcing dozens of people to hide out in subway stations overnight. Ukrainian authorities say the attack left at least 15 people hurt as missiles targeted residential buildings and a shopping mall.
On that side where the explosion happened, the balcony is totally wiped out, as well as the windows and the doors.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky condemned the attack Saturday, accusing Russia of dragging out the war and urging world leaders to pressure Moscow into peace negotiations.
Ukraine
is ready for any form of diplomacy that delivers real results. We are ready for all steps that can guarantee true security. It is Russia that is not ready for anything.
The White House has suggested that the Vatican could potentially be used to host the next round of peace negotiations, but Russia has downplayed that idea, saying nothing has been agreed to yet. In London, Stephanie Bennett, Fox News.
2 people are dead and several people are injured after a small plane crash landed into a military neighborhood in San Diego, California, yesterday morning. The crash set more than a dozen homes on fire and caused evacuations for several blocks in that area. Firefighters say that some of the houses had a direct hit. Investigators, they're now trying to determine whether the plane hit a power line or not. And 5 years ago, George Floyd's death sparked national outrage and protests across the country. The area where it happened in Minneapolis was blocked off, serving as a memorial and a gathering space. Fox's Mary McGuire has the latest.
38th in Chicago has become sacred ground for so many people living here in Minneapolis. And on the 5-year anniversary of his murder, the community came together to rise and remember George Floyd. George Floyd! Making their voices heard in the streets, a crowd of people gathered at George Floyd Square to start a day of remembrance and recognition.
A lot of pain has happened here, but we are determined to have joy.
Civil rights advocate Alberta Gillespie helped organize the walk.
As an African-American woman, this is the thing. We've always had to celebrate, even in the midst of our pain. It's the thing that gives us what we need to continue going. And so you have to there's got to be joy in the struggle.
She says it was a way to let the world know they are still with George Floyd and his family, while remembering his life and celebrating the progress that has been made. And that's where many people's emotions landed here, at the intersection of joy and sadness, of loss and of hope. There was dancing in the streets, but also moments of quiet reflection near the memorial.
There's a gap between sadness and happiness, and I think I'm right in that gap. You know, I'm no longer sad, I'm no longer angry, but I'm not completely happy either.
Throughout the day, vendors and community organizations filled the area.
We want to make sure that we're helping people and getting things out into the community that's needed.
One of them was Home Base, a group dedicated to supporting those in need and the unhoused. They hope to serve hundreds here by offering free clothing and blankets, an act of kindness and love in a place that means so much to so many.
I think people just are in their feelings and remembering, and you know, it's so important that people keep doing the work.
This festival will continue on Sunday. Reporting in Minneapolis, Mary McGuire. I'll send it back to you.
And half of the 10 inmates who escaped from prison in New Orleans 1 week ago, they are still on the run. 5 have been recaptured so far. We're learning that a 5th person, they had been arrested for helping 2 of the inmates. Investigators say that a woman drove the men to several places in the hours following that breakout. The inmates, they escaped through a hole behind the toilet. And a jail worker is accused of helping them get out as well.